my current business here, I'm in a beautiful loft. Again, today wasn't the right day to do it. Future shows, we'll do a tour of my office, which is phenomenal here
Cool.
in Key Largo. And right now, if I turn around, I'm overlooking, the mangrove trails, John Pennekamp State Park. I got a gorgeous second floor view of my living room down below. So being in home working is the norm for me. And then being on virtual meetings, I've always done, because I'm on 2-3 webinars a day sometimes for travel. I do a lot of my meetings virtually too with clients, or with I do a lot of corporate travel. A lot of my corporate groups, they're not easy to meet in person. They're long distance, so we end up doing virtual meetings. So I'm familiar with Zoom, phenomenal platform, and I want to buy their stock right now, because everything I go on, 3 meetings today were all Zoom, and they're all doing the premium packages. And go to meeting, go to webinars, all those platforms I've done, they all have their strengths. They all have their flaws, I will say, but I think Zoom is the best for this format for our show and for this station, because it is phenomenal with media, probably better more so others. I think GoToMeeting is probably better for large school conference calls if you're not worried about video, but I think Zoom is the best for actually, video. So for me, it's been a very small adjustment. I mean, there are some things I enjoy doing locally that I can't do for a while, but that's okay, because we'll be back.
Absolutely. Our programming is only as good as the internet where you are, David, where I am down here in Islamorada. You live in Key Largo. I live in Islamorada, which is about 15 miles, 15 miles, something like that, away. So your internet could be fair. Mine is really good. But those virtual broadcasts that are coming to you, and you're seeing them on Facebook and social media, and they're coming from places that may not have internet. And also, it's dependent upon the listener or viewer's internet, whether it downloads, and does not hesitate or skip. And there's a lot of factors in it, and we're working on this end to make our end better, as you know, for the Enjoy the Journey luxury travel show, right? Luxury travel? What is the difference? What is the difference? If someone's expecting to go on a luxury travel trip, I know the difference could be possibly that you probably have a higher price.
Well, yeah. So luxury travel. I think our guest is arriving. Fantastic.
Yeah, there she is.
Luxury travel means many things to many, many people. So, like, for example, I could book you on a 3-night cruise where you're going for $500 a person, but the person in Royal Suite is paying $3,000 a person. To them, even for 3 nights, it's a luxury experience. So it's very subjective. But the way I view it is, because I specialize and I excel best at custom travel, the big ticket items. I'm a bucket list travel expert, because I've proven my trademark in that industry. And I focus on suppliers that cater to that trademark. What does that mean? Safaris. I send a client to the Middle East for 40 days, everything, every single day, custom. I've done custom dive trips, custom golf trips, custom groups. So to me, it's custom, but at a very high level, where amenities that you receive are very, very discriminated. It's what you want to be pampered. And again, that could just mean a few extra strawberries in your room. It just depends on the client.
Yeah.
So, but I like the market where it's going, because it's also a growing market, and the suppliers involved in it are very, very credible.
Add alcohol, add local flavor, add gourmet experiences, add limousines, add balloon rides, whatever turns you on. Luxury travel is beyond the normal fare that's offered by the cruise ships or by normal franchised travel agents. And I know we got a couple of minutes, and we're going to bring Elizabeth in from the Chamber of Commerce of Key Largo. But you are what's called an independent travel agent, like we are an independent radio station, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I'm independent. I do belong to a consortium named Travel Leaders, but that's just an affiliation to provide more credibility with my suppliers. I was part of a franchise for 12 years, which was a positive relationship, but there was just certain things I wanted to do, and certain things I was already doing that didn't really fit with their leisure model. So I do a lot of things at Walt Disney World, the Disney properties. I do a lot of corporate travel. It just didn't fit with what they do as a brand. And I want to do things beyond just what their name was. And so I went independent last May. It's almost been a year. So Fantastic Endeavors is a corporate name I've always owned. I just now trade under that name. Then I came up with Bucket Wish Trip as kind of a new niche kind of tagline under my brand. It was also easier to spell than Fantastic Endeavors in an email. Everyone always misspells endeavors, by the way. so I came up with Bucket List Trip, and people love it, and I'm working on actually trademarking it because it is unique versus Bucket List Trip. So, well, yes, I'm an independent travel agent, and I cater to the independent traveler.
Independent traveler, and you can take luxury to a new level. I know you can. You've done it. You've done it for people just wanting to come to the Keys, haven't you? Key Largo.
Oh yeah, down here, and I love the trends down here with the hotels because we are pushing the last few years higher and higher end hotels. We haven't talked a lot about the Keys, which we're going to do next with Elizabeth coming on the line here, because we've been talking about myself and it's our first show. So, but yes, I mean, I love what's happened down here, and I love what's continues to happen. The opening of Playa Largo, the opening of bungalows, the improvements we've seen roads. I mean, Irma was not a very good thing here, but I tell you, we got some great improved resorts out of Irma and what's happened down here. I mean, and because of it, occupancy is up, room rates are up. I mean, it's been a trend that helps all of us out down here. And I can custom package for people. I can put them into a suite, I'd say bungalows or Playa Largo, and then customize their charters, customize.
That's a nice
tours.
Place.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here 16 years, so I know all the tour guides and know all the boat captains. And so I'm here to kind of be more concierge service level for them. But what's helped have is, honestly, I moved here in 2004, luxury destination. Yeah, it was a tough call. And now with the resorts improvements in the homes too. I mean, the homes, the new builds homes, the improvement homes, as far as finding lodging for people is really improved.
You have your first guest in the history of Enjoy the Journey.
A very appropriate first guest.
Wow, I feel honored.
Elizabeth, thank you for joining us today. So glad to have you on board. And Elizabeth, go pretty far back because I was attending chamber functions for a while because I'm at Tibus, a friend of mine who was chairman back then. Then I finally drank the Kool-Aid and joined in 2014. Elizabeth took over as president soon after that, and I was on her board for a little while. And it's a tough thing to be on any board, especially the Chamber of Commerce, a lot of pressure as far as all things to deal with. Elizabeth is a fantastic person, fantastic administrator. And I can't tell you, the information of late coming from the Chamber has been valuable, time sensitive, and correct.
Wow, thanks, David. Yeah, we're really trying to keep up to what I would say rumor control here in the Florida Keys because it's still beautiful here. It's sunny. We're doing great. The community, we're going to be fine as usual after Irma, as you all know. That was our first test run, I guess, and now this is a bigger impact, but we'll get through it. I know we will. I'm very positive about that.
Well, let me give you the official introduction. I always mispronounce your last name. It's Elizabeth Moscynski.
You know what? That's how the Polish would say it. So yes, Elizabeth Moscynski would be the Polish. Elizabeth Moscynski being the general public of America, I suppose.
Okay. And you're the president of the Key Largo Chamber of Commerce, which is the legendary.
Oh, yes.
Right, the legendary.
Oh, yes.
I love that tagline. So I'm on board today. First thing I want to talk about is I'm all about positive, optimistic news. Is before all hell fall off the wheels here with latest events, is there's a famous, a very prestigious award that Key Largo won. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So what was really great is that TripAdvisor had put out that Key Largo had surged in their ratings, basically, and we became the #1 destination for a treading destination. And how we got that is all the positive comments that have gone out there from visitors that came into the Florida Keys, stayed in Key Largo, and the comments that they were putting on all the different chamber members, and as well as other people out there in Key Largo, the positive comments, how great people are, the kindness of the residents and the kindness of our businesses, and how we're willing to give a hand. So it was great. I mean, to hear that Key Largo got that, and they were the #1 treading, that really, really it made me feel great, especially when you're dealing with the Florida Keys in the whole. We've got these beautiful island chains, and a lot of focus is on Key West, and it's great. Key West is wonderful. We, as I said, after Irma, Key Largo, Key West are the bookends, and now here you go. We're the number one treading destination, so I'm good.
Yeah, Key Largo is the gateway to the Keys. So
that's it.
And it's also, as the sign still says, the scuba diving capital of the world.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Which is what brought me here. I told my story before you came on. You've heard it before. I came here for the diving, but stayed for the community. So
right, exactly. It's great. Yeah.
And actually, you didn't hear, but this being my first show, I told a lot about myself at the beginning and told my story. And I said I actually found Harry really through the chamber because it was people from the Pirates on the Water, the Jimmy Buffett fan club up here in the Upper Keys, attending Key Largo Chamber Members Emotions. It was those people that got me involved in the Pirates. And it was at a Pirate Social St. Patty's Day, May 15th last year at Caribbean Club. And Harry was doing, was it MJ Wicker?
Yes.
Video?
Yes.
Good memory. MJ, who's now a member of the Chamber of Commerce and played at our January function and at our December luncheon. And anyways, MJ's doing a video, and this guy Harry was filming, and I got his card and said, hey, you ever thought about doing DJ cruises? And that's how it all started. So because of the chamber connections and the members of motion, because of the Pirates, I am here today doing the show. So thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. We met Harry over 4th of July, if you remember Lacey.
Ooh, yeah. We had a good time.
Lacey. But anyways, it's all good. So we met that way too. And I found Harry very knowledgeable, but also very entertaining too. So.
Oh my God. I found Lacey very expensive. But it was a wonderful, wonderful event. I want to thank you for being there. How many years have you been the executive director of the Key Largo Chamber now?
Okay, so basically I started out in 2014 and I was the vice president.
Yeah, I remember.
Then Lacey left in 2016. So I'm coming up on, what year is this? 20. I guess this is my 4th year coming up in May as being their president. So yeah, it's great. I mean, I've enjoyed it. It's been a big learning lesson. I didn't come from this background. I happened to be a board member for another chamber and participated with not Key Largo Chamber, but participated with chambers throughout the country. And I always found them such a source of information, especially if you were new to a community. And I loved them. And I ended up being a board member up in Homestead a few years ago and ended up getting the job in Key Largo after I left a job with the government. So it was hard to give up my government security job. But on the other hand, I was ready for a change, and I love the change here. It's good. Key Largo is beautiful. The Florida Keys are beautiful. It's one of the best destinations to go to within the United States, if not the best. I love it.
So Elizabeth, while we have you, I do want to end before you leave, telling us about what tourists should know right now about the Keys. But in general, people watching this, around our whole land of fans on Radio A1A, what does the Key Largo Chamber do, and why should they come see you when they first drive in here?
Okay, so basically, when you're first coming into the Florida Keys, we're going to be the Welcome Visitor Center that's on your right at mile marker 106. Everything in the Florida Keys is about mile markers. And if you hear MM 106, that's mile marker 106. So when you get into our facility, not only do we just offer information about the chamber members and our visitor center members itself, hotels, tourism, restaurants, bars, local doctors, all kinds of different information as a business group. So we have the best bathrooms in Key Largo when it comes.
They are nice.
And I know that sounds kind of weird, but you're on the road and you want to get into a restroom. You can be sure that our restrooms are clean and there's plenty of space. And that's one of the best things about coming into the visitor center. But after that, of course, we want you to stand by, and then we're going to give you all the information of places to go to, places that are free that you can come into the Florida Keys, like the Wild Bird Center, or go over to the Reef organization and different things like that. And it's just full of information, collected items. We have artists that have commissioned some artwork here, and we have that for sale. And then, of course, hotel information, their rates, and we'll even work with you if you don't have a hotel reservation and you happen to go on to like a TripAdvisor or whatever it might be. We'll give that hotel a phone call and say, look, their rates are this on TripAdvisor. Will you match? And 9 out of 10 times that hotel will match that rate, which is great because it saves them some commissions. And I know that maybe TripAdvisor won't like that, but it's great for our visitors because we're here to work for them and then also work with our hotels and our restaurants. So great place.
Yeah, I mean, it's very valuable with any chamber of commerce does, but especially for the Key Largo, because it's, again, we're the gateway to paradise, and you're one of the first buildings tourists are going to see when they come to the Keys, and it's a great resource. It's a wonderful building. I mean, the fact that the chamber now owns the building and the land is an unbelievable resource for the community.
Oh, it is.
Now, on the other side of it, for more local people, because I give a few testimonies, and the chamber has been very good for my business. So what does the chamber do for members locally?
Well, basically, our whole thing is it's helping with the referrals itself. So, of course, everybody's calling in about the tourists and this and doing that. But when the locals are calling in here, even tourists, when they're calling in, or visitors, and they're looking for either maybe it's a real estate agent or perhaps they do have a property and they're looking to do a closing. Well, we're going to give the referrals of our members that are here, like, the different title agents and then also to other mortgage brokers and then real estate people as well. So that's a very, very positive thing that we do. If people are looking for construction, we do get residents that call in and maybe they want a boat dock fixed or they need to have a plumber come to their house or electrician. Then we're going to work with our current partners and get their referrals to the general public, and hopefully they get that referral and then they run with that. Because I'll tell you, our businesses, they're all fabulous. I've not had complaints about any of them. Normally you get complaints, and we really truly don't have complaints about our businesses down here. And I think, again, that's what put us to TripAdvisor, even though it's for tourists. Locals have their businesses on TripAdvisor as well. So it's good.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy being a member of the chamber, not just for the access. I'm in the magazine that's now out. It's a beautiful new magazine, by the way, you guys put out.
Thank you.
And also, being listed and being known. But the networking events to me are phenomenal. The lunches, I mean, phenomenal speakers, but also the networking ability is there. But where you shine, I believe, is the members in motion.
Yeah.
And your bigger events, and obviously, together, two organizations I've been in is obviously the Light Up Key Largo with the Chamber of Commerce and the Key Largo Community Preservation Foundation. That's just a marquee event that really kicks off the Christmas season. So I was looking forward to it, being at chamber events, being with chamber people. And it's been great for my business. I mean, bottom line, I have direct business from chamber members and direct referrals. And obviously, the relationship for Harry has been just fantastic. And it's indirectly came from my chamber relationship. So, and I know you're very busy today because I think you're meeting the phones by yourself there.
Oh, it's great. It's crazy. I love it though. I'm glad we're here. I'm glad that we're able to support our community, our members for sure. But supporting the community here is very important.
Before we go, the biggest problem with the news right now, especially here, and I personally got burned by some misinformation. Is that so? What should tourists know right now? Like, is A1A blocked? Do they have a long-term lease? Do they have to leave? My uncle evicted on short notice, and they were dead wrong because they had a contract at the end of the month. It was very sad. And, I got a lot of extra food because of it because he just went shopping.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah.
So as your view, just we don't need to know the details, and that's what news is for. But as a tourist right now, or as someone who works and lives somewhere else, what should they know right now watching the show?
Well, right now is that basically anybody that did have a reservation for a long-term rental, meaning let's say that they were coming down on April 1st and the rental was for 3 months or so, supposedly that they should have been able to come down here. But there was a lot of mixed messaging and confusion when it first all went out. Basically, right now, our hotels are closed to any additional reservations until otherwise deemed by Monroe County. Visitors were asked to leave at 6 p.m. last night, but there are a few people that had reservations to go out today and go out Wednesday, and certain exceptions can be made because there's things in place. And I think you understand the travel industry, David, that there's certain acts and disclaimers by the federal government on our travel tickets and so forth. And everybody needs to, comply and not overload airports, especially right now, since the airports are extremely busy with people. Well, maybe not as much now as it was last week. So if you're thinking about coming to Key Largo, I would say just, stand by, make sure you're watching our website because we're keeping things pretty much up to date. Pardon me, not on the website. The Facebook seems to be our best issue of getting information out. So keep tuned to our Facebook page just to see what's going on. We don't recommend that people come down here that don't have essential business going on. For instance, if I had employees coming in today, which we are social distancing, and I have one lady that does come in from Homestead, she is welcome to come into work. I mean, right now, non-essential businesses are still open and people do have to work. So that's recognized. But if you're somebody that wants to come in for a day of day tripping and hanging out, our restaurants are basically closed down to just carry out and delivery services alone. And the boat ramps are closed, the fishing bridges are closed, the parks are closed, the beaches are closed. So there isn't a whole lot going on down here right now. But once we get through this, and hopefully we're getting that curve to get flat, I can see us being open, but I just can't predict when because I'm not the county. I wish I had a globe and a magic ball to say we're open for business, let's get going. But right now we're just trying to flatten that curve, and I think that's where we need to be at this point. So if are coming down to shop in our grocery stores, we have the same items you have up north. No need to do that, but we can't stop people from coming in that way, but we can just say everybody needs to be considerate and kind of each other. So that's what I would say to everybody right now.
Good. And then to clarify, so people who work here are fine. There's no roadblock on Route 1. They keep saying they're still under advisement. You don't need the county reentry sticker. I read that this morning. I actually went to the BOCC, the Monroe County website. And don't read the comments, just the news, by the way.
I know. Stick away from the comments because, everybody's the expert, and I know that they want, I know that everybody wants to get information out, but the worst information is the disinformation. And go for the facts. The county website is updated. Anytime something changed, that website is updated within the next hour of the change itself. We try to get those emails out, but the news last week, holy cow, it was changing every 10 minutes. So it was better to try to get everything all at once and then get it out to people, especially the sites that can help the employees. That's the biggest thing down here. And that's where it's hard right now. Our industry is tourism based, and our tourism based staff and employees and so forth, that they're the ones that are hurting right now because they're the tipped employees, service industry, the jet ski guys, the rental boat guys. These are people that depend on this economy and to get the business that comes in to support their families as well. So that's where we need to be diligent on getting something done for them. But as for the rest of it, as they used to say when I grew up, this too shall pass, and I'm hoping it passes really fast.
Well, and the good news for the Keys is when it does say, "Hey, everyone's back," there's not a year of recovery.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That was when I was here for Irma. It was full swing. I had damage to my house, and very fortunate with with insurance to cover the damage, but. I mean, there are still people fighting insurance. There are still people recovering. Some of our resorts didn't come back online for a full year. That's not going to happen this time.
No.
So people got to realize that how difficult it is, maintain the recommendations that are out there to make this thing pass quicker and to keep Keys in the mind. And we're still going to be here with Route 1 open. And
absolutely.
And when we come back online, we got a lot of eager people to serve you.
Absolutely.
To serve you well, because we do it very well in the Keys.
Oh, absolutely. And they do. I mean, Key Largo is just, anywhere you go, everybody has such a great attitude. And the whole thing with US 1 closing down, what people don't understand, when this hurricane situation took place with Irma, and, laws change and regulations change when certain emergency power acts are put into place. So yes, they can close that road down because they don't want people coming in as they're trying to evacuate the people out. Then when the roads are ready to reopen, they'll reopen. But until then, they have to maintain that everything is safe to bring people back in. That's not the case right now. So US 1, at this time will not be closing, but if things change with the governor or things change with the federal government, and if they put a lockdown on, then sure, things are going to change. But they aren't going to close that road anytime soon. And especially those residents that might be out of the area right now and are panicked about having to get back,
Sure.
they can get back in. It's no problem. If you're a construction worker and you're working on a job, let's say at Fisherman's Hospital, if Fisherman's Hospital still has the job site going, they want their workers to come in. We got to get that hospital going. So right now, stay away from the Facebook rumors and pay attention to the county, pay attention to our Facebook and our members that are taking and passing our posts on to other sites as well. So that's where we need to be.
Exactly. Only follow credible sources. So
absolutely.
So
misinformation is the worst information.
People may know, but in case they don't, so what are the two Facebook pages you mentioned, the two websites?
Okay, so basically, our Facebook page is basically Key Largo Chamber of Commerce, so they can do a quick Facebook search of that, and we'll pop up. And then the Monroe County BOCC, so they have a Facebook page too. Yep. I believe if you put in the Monroe County BOCC, you'll pull that up. Yes. It has all the accurate information on it. It has the website for Monroe County they can go right to, and it's a great website. It gives you links to the Florida Department of Health, the CDC, World Health Organization, and pretty up to date, I would say.
May I ask a question? If a person within driving distance were planning a day trip, you pack your car, you gas it up. For instance, last night I ordered a gourmet pizza from Bayside Gourmet, and they delivered it and set it out outside my door. So there are places that you can drop by, and they will bring out food for you. And driving to Key West and back is a day trip, basically.
Right.
Almost a half a day. And if you're getting some cabin fever, the Keys are open for a drive down the All-American Highway, right? It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah, I would say so. But, I don't want to promote that because I don't want, some of our locals to get mad at us. But, if you're staying in your car, Harry, and you are social distancing and you're healthy, what's the difference? I mean, you go get a pizza, stay in your car, take a video, and then get out. I mean, I think that there is no issue with that.
Right.
People that are coming in to think that they're going to get a hotel room or they're going to sit in a dining room or something like that. That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. No, or go to a state park. I think nothing's here. You can't go snorkeling. You can't. You can't enjoy the reef or the water or fishing or those normal things. But you can go drive by and see some unusual sights. One of my favorite things was driving around after a hurricane and seeing how things had changed. The curiosity is. And I'm getting a little cabin fever in here, even though we're virtual to the world. So you guys, thank you so very much for taking a part of this. And Elizabeth, I'm going to tell you something. You do a fantastic job, doesn't she, David? Doesn't she?
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely fantastic job.
Thank you both. It's what we do, David. I mean, we're all a big, happy family down here. We're one big team, and we might have an opinion of this or opinion of that, but when we all come together, we're here for this community. Yeah. And, I love it. I mean, this is what we do. And unfortunately, this is the time that the chamber ends up shining. And I don't like shining in these moments, but it's the best thing that we can do for our members and our community is keep you all posted to what's happening.
We just got a message.
Keep doing what you do.
We just got a message from Israel. My favorite drive ever. My favorite drive ever. Isn't that wonderful? There are people listening all over. So, David, and Elizabeth, if there's anything that you can, let's talk to our businesses right now. Let's just say that there are a lot of your members out there, Elizabeth, listening to this right now, and we're streaming this to 7 Facebook pages and all over the place, YouTube. But what would you say to your members right now?
What I'd say to them is just keep strong, hold on there. There's relief coming. One thing, and I don't want to be political because I really I try to take a step back from being political. But right now, there's an important stimulus package out there in the Senate. That package needs to pass. It's going to help our workers. It's going to help our businesses. It's talking about keeping your payroll going, keeping people employed. We need to get this help to our people and this American economy. And our economy is going to help the world economy. So if we can get ourselves back into shape, the rest of the world will follow. And that's very important right now, that they need to be bipartisan. They need to get out there and show that they can work together and get this done. But that package is really, really important. So if you're a business owner or a resident that wants to see their businesses continue and employees thrive and our community thrive, call your congressmen and women, and let them know we need this bill to pass as fast as possible. As to our businesses, hang in there. We're going to get back. The road to recovery will be good once we finally get these doors back open again. And just hang tight. Do the best you can for your employees right now. And if your employees need help or they've been laid off, get them on the unemployment as soon as, or reemployment, as what they say in Florida. Get them out there and do it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. That's what these services are in place for. Take advantage of them. I encourage my employees, if I have to let them go, get out there, get the reemployment insurance, and we'll be back running as soon as possible. Right now, we're okay. I worry if it goes on for too much longer. We can't have this going too much longer. So everybody needs to flatten the curve. So right now, if you can stay away from people, do it, and we'll get it flattened. It'll go away eventually, but I'd like to see it go away sooner than later.
We all would, Elizabeth. Well, thank you for your time today. I know, again, you're very busy at the chamber.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wonderful lady.
And we'll do this again soon, and hopefully we'll have a much more positive scene, and it'll be outdoors, maybe at the chamber building.
Absolutely. Cheers, guys. Have a good one. Thank you.
See you later, Elizabeth.
Thank you. Appreciate all you do.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye. Take care.
David, she was wonderful, huh?
As always, Elizabeth always performs. I've been at the chamber as a member since she took over, and actually was on the board, I believe. Yeah, since I think she was already in charge as president when I was on the board there for a few years. And she does a phenomenal job. It's not easy what she does, and that chamber has a lot of challenges. They're facing a lot of drop in visitor traffic coming into the building, mostly because of the internet and just come out other competing areas, competing venues and things. So that's a lot of what they were doing for income, was their actually incoming traffic and then sales and commissions they generate from there going there. So they have a challenge ahead of them, as always. And first it was Irma, now this. And as we all do, and I thought her award to businesses was very relevant. I attended a bridge seminar yesterday or 2 days ago. I'm sorry, last week, just to learn more about what bridge loans are in case I had to cross that bridge, which I don't want to do. But you do what you have to, and that's what the businesses. The last thing you do now is forget what we have here as a gift that we have, and start blaming others or start blaming yourself. No, it's no one's fault for where we are. You can only, as I said, pay attention to the credible sources, listen to their recommendations, avoid the comments, and do what's right, and we'll all be back here. A lot of things are going to look different in 2 months when things are back online. Travel is going to look very different. The cruise lines will look very different. A whole episode on that. And down here may look different too, but just be positive and stay in contact with your people and have them do the right thing. If it's reemployment insurance, if it's getting loans, if it's just saying, hey, take a break, come back. Whatever your business has that requires you to come back 100%, do what you can to keep that in place. That's my message here. And just enjoy the journey. Think about where we're going to be in 2 months, 3 months, and not tomorrow. That's the main thing.
Each Monday you are going to be here. Is that correct?
Yes.
Wherever you may be in the world, are you going to take this on the road?
I will broadcast from every Monday wherever I can if I have the internet connection. So for right now, I'm obviously going to be here at my home in Key Largo. So we all are out moving. And I don't have any really broad, long-term travel, like international travel plan for a while. Even despite nothing's been canceled, I have nothing on the books for a while. This is a busy time of year for me. So I do want to mention where people can get a hold of me. I just forgot that at the beginning.
Please do, yeah.
I'm best reached by phone and email. I have that website, bucketwishtrip.com, but there's not much there. I mostly use it for my groups to register for like cruises and tours. I mean, really just give me a call, 305-453-9208. It's my direct line. It comes to my home office here. There's a landline. You can't text it, but it does forward to my cell phone, so I get all the messages. And then I'm on Facebook. David W. Hartman is my personal page. You can message me there. And then also, obviously, Fantastic Endeavors, where we stream the show at, is my business page. So there's a lot of ways to find me, and it's always good to kind of send a note and schedule time to talk. And let me hear what you have going on. I mean, we have a lot to talk about. We had some questions today, but we can always push those off here. I know we have a minute left, so we'll keep those because there are more general travel questions. I mean, there are some specific questions. We can't answer everything. I mean, a lot of times I will probably. Harry can send me the questions and I'll answer them later. I'll push you back to the main source. But we are here to make sure people understand that travel's fun, travel's transformational, and it can really change your life. And whether it's to the Keys or around the world. Now, I happen to live in a very inspirational destination. And when I travel, we're only an hour from Miami, an hour and 20 from Fort Lauderdale. So it's easy for us to go places. So we're very fortunate we have that, luxury. But we're here to make sure you understand what the Keys travel is all about. When's the best time to come back to the Keys, and when's the best time to come back to travel? As I said, plan now. It's a buyer's market right now for travel.
It is indeed. That's been David Hartman with Enjoy the Journey, y'all, on Radio A1A. Yeah, fantastic endeavors. We'll be back next week, Monday, and David will be right here with us too. So stand by, everybody, for more Virtual Monday coming up on Radio A1A.
Thank you. Enjoy the journey. See you next week.
We're headed south with morning sunlight. Take a trip down that blue road. That's the way we'll go, 'cause we'll be feeding Hartman and Robbie's. There'll be coconuts and parties, tiki bars are playing Marley in the Keys.
Stand by.